At exactly 8:01 a.m., my day kicked off with the kind of scene you'd expect in some reality show where everyone's one cup of coffee away from losing it. Four people in neon safety vests coming up my driveway like a low-budget SWAT team, slapping a seizure notice right on my garage door. The head honcho, Pamela Sutter, made sure every neighbor within a 2-block radius could hear her. By authority of the Fox Glen Meadows HOA, we claimed this property. I mean, she was bellowing like she thought she was starring in a movie. My neighbor, busy watering her begonias, shouted back. He doesn't even live in Fox Glen Meadows, though. And honestly, I wish I'd filmed the look Pamela shot her. Clipboard out, chin high. She fires back. Details are a state of mind. As if that's even English. You know what I mean? Let me back up a sec. I'm Nolan Price, quiet guy, engineer, more into peace and quiet than drama, you know? When I bought my house on Juniper Hollow Lane, I did it for one big reason. It was 2 whole streets and a drainage ditch outside the reach of Fox Glen's HOA. I did my homework, pored over county plat maps, called the city, triple-checked everything. I wanted birds in the morning, a hammock under my oaks, and the freedom to have a mailbox that's just a mailbox, not some monument to beige mediocrity. But from day one, Pamela decided I was a problem that needed solving. She showed up with a welcome basket, granola bars, a mug, and, no joke, a stack of rules about flags, work trucks, and no visible hobbies. I pointed out, super polite, that I was in a totally different subdivision, map and all. She stared like I'd insulted her ancestors. That was the beginning of her crusade. It started petty, then veered straight into absurd. I started finding these so-called courtesy citations under my windshield for things like non-approved mailbox color. She said it was gray. It was literally off-white, and unauthorized wind chimes. I checked their bylaws out of curiosity. None of her codes even existed. She made them up, right down to 3-7A, metallic wind decor. Yeah, that happened. 5 in 1 week, all printed on fancy cardstock with a logo and fake violation numbers. Then, out of nowhere, the HOA Facebook page lit up with drone shots of my yard, big red circles around my blue recycling bins, which, by the way, are standard county issue, captions like visual contamination detected. The real kicker? Every Thursday night, Pamela started hosting visual compliance reviews. She'd project drone footage of yards onto the clubhouse wall, ominous royalty-free music booming, and she'd roast people's landscaping like she was commentating the Super Bowl. Guess whose yard was always front and center? Not long after, orange flyers showed up about an official annexation vote to bring Juniper Hollow into Fox Glen's clutches. It was all theater, no legal power, held in a gazebo with finger sandwiches. 47 people showed up to vote on something they had no authority over, and of course, it passed unanimously. Pamela announced it like she'd just redrawn the map of Europe. Her compliance patrol, 3 retirees and windbreakers, started knocking on my door at sunrise, critiquing the esprit de corps of my garden hose. I still don't know what that means. One of them even said my coiled-up hose projected an energy of disorder. I wish I was making that up. I sent Pamela a certified letter, county map highlighted, copy of Fox Glen's actual charter, boundaries clear as daylight. Her reply? Lavender stationery. Sovereignty is flexible, smiley face and all. Next thing I know, I get a certified envelope marked emergency lien, all caps, red ink, threatening civil seizure if I didn't pay thousands in HOA dues I didn't know. It had a fake docket number, looked official enough to fool someone less obsessive than me. At that point, even my realtor was losing it. She triple-checked. Nolan, they have zero legal power here. But Pamela just doubled down. One morning, she boxed me in at the curb, standing so close I could smell her hairspray, and hissed, "We'll seize you by force if we have to." Yeah, that was it for me. You ever get so mad your hands shake, but your mind just goes perfectly calm? That was me. I started documenting everything, doorbell cams, detailed logs, screenshots. I called Deputy Maris Ocampo at the county sheriff's office, forwarded the fake lien to the state attorney general, looped in a USPS inspector for suspected mail fraud. I was done playing defense. The next annexation rally Pamela put on was something else. Picture this: gazebo full of nosy neighbors, compliance patrol glaring at me, and then Deputy Ocampo strolling in, looking like she'd rather be literally anywhere else. She walked straight to Pamela and, in that measured cop voice, asked her to explain the threatening statements. Pamela, to nobody's surprise, got louder, declaring, "We're enforcing community order beyond traditional borders." Deputy Ocampo blinked like she was rebooting, then radioed for backup, because I guess we were doing this the hard way. And then, the twist, I put Assistant Attorney General Leah Chan on speakerphone, right there in front of the crowd. She didn't even raise her voice, just said, "Fox Glen Meadows has no legal claim outside its charter. Any attempt to impose dues or seize property is fraudulent." The silence was deep. The USPS inspector, this guy who looked like he'd moonlighted as a bouncer, quietly asked who'd sent the fake lien. Suddenly, Pamela's two most loyal board members started backing away, looking everywhere but at her, like Roombas who'd hit a wall. So now, the drama's public. At the emergency HOA board meeting, standing room only, neighbors sweating, whispers flying, I brought out my binder, property records, plat maps, 37 minutes of doorbell camera footage, and Facebook live streams where Pamela claimed jurisdiction by adjacency. My evidence was clear, the room was buzzing, and Assistant AG Chan appeared on the projector, reading off charges. Unauthorized practice of law, harassment, mail fraud. People gasped. Deputy Ocampo served Pamela a temporary restraining order right in front of everyone. And, for good measure, cited her for filing a false police report. Turns out she'd called 911 about my wind chimes. The vote to remove Pamela was basically a formality at that point, the board's hands shaking so hard you could hear their pens clatter. Someone in the back row whispered, "Is this what democracy looks like?" And honestly, yeah, for once it kind of did. Then came the real fallout. The Attorney General slapped Fox Glen Meadows HOA with $25,000 in civil penalties for issuing deceptive notices to non-members and required board members to attend compliance training. USPS closed its investigation with a hefty fine and a warning for whoever had mailed the fraudulent lien. Pamela, not wanting jail time, took a plea deal for criminal harassment. 1 year probation, 100 hours community service, and a no-contact order so strict it included drones, social media, and, somehow, communal vibes. I'd pay money to see a judge explain that one. When the terms were read in court, Pamela's face cycled from red to white to a color I didn't even know humans could turn. She started to argue. Her lawyer yanked her back down, and the judge's gavel came down hard. That was that. You'd think the story ends there, with the villain vanquished and the good guy keeping his weirdly rectangular mailbox. But here's the thing. Fox Glen's board still holds monthly meetings, and now they're debating boundary ambiguity, as if the world didn't just witness a master class in overreach. People stop me on the street to ask if I'm the guy who took on the HOA. Sometimes, late at night, I hear drones buzzing and wonder if Pamela's out there, somewhere, plotting a comeback with even more forms and flyers. So, let me just ask, where do you draw the line between keeping a community clean and crossing over into pure control freak territory? What would you have done in my shoes? Drop your own HOA nightmare, your wildest story, or just let me know. Was I right to stand my ground, or did I just pour gasoline on a suburban bonfire? Hit the comments. I can't be the only one who's tangled with a clipboard warrior.